Cheerio, bonjour. Again, it's quite windy in Washington, D.C. So our very favorite topic of all, Chris Watts, Sharon Watts. So Chris Watts has come out recently and made the statement that the only reason he did what he did was because of NK. Oh, okay. I've never been a big fan of NK. I do not care for women who openly sleep with men who they know that are married. You listen to her phone calls and her voicemails, it's me. And that just made me cringe a little bit. But I also believe that the police did everything they possibly could to link her to the crime. They checked her cell phone records, where she was. She absolutely was not involved. When she first went to the police, they never read her rights. And that's a big thing. Think back to the dentist, the Adelson murder. The moment Detective Idles, I'm thinking Adelson, Idless, terrible, also bad interrogator, but he was also, brand new to the homicide squad. The moment he was starting to ask her questions, within 10 minutes she said, aren't you going to read me my rights? And he said, no. Well, because Wendy had been told by her $1,000 an hour Donald Trump attorney, John Carney, that the moment he says, I'm reading your rights, you have the right to remain silent, she would be very calm and say, oh, but I want an attorney and I have to protect myself. And Wendy's an entirely different video. I haven't really gotten much into the Edelsons. I really, really should. I get hate every time I do a Chris Watts video. I'm sorry. My other glasses are not working as well. My readers are doing better. Chris Watts is what you call a piece of poop. Other people would say piece OS. He murdered his wife. I want to say made love to her, but he had sex with her and then climbed on top of her and played her. Okay, so that's quite troublesome. But it's more that he put his daughters in his truck for 45 minutes, drove them out, and then, I don't even like to say it, did what he did to Cece, and Bella watched. And when he got back to the car, she said, is the same thing going to happen to me that happened to Cece? And that's really where I hurt more. I'm sorry he killed Shannon, but bitch had it coming to her. I really wish, it was 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. It was still dark where they were. He would have just pulled the truck on the side of the road, taken both of his daughters by the arm and just thrown them out of the truck and driven on. They would have been found. When I was about 7 years old, maybe a little older, my next door neighbor's house caught on fire. And I was not allowed to walk out of my bedroom unless I was, decently attired. And I woke up to Rick screaming, fire, fire, pounding at our side door. And I was standing at my middle door to get pants. And my father, literally, it was this arm, lifted me up. And I remember going in the air and I said something like, I'm getting pants. And he said, you don't need pants. And we went outside and it was Rick's house on fire. And I've told this story before. Rick was a sick kid. He was about 17 when this happened. He was a senior in high school. His parents had gone out of town for the weekend. One of his stupid buddies, or girls, doesn't matter, guy or girl, put a cigarette down on the couch, and the couch ignited at 2 or 3 a.m. But then about 4 years later, Rick had a child, a little baby, 6 or 7 months old, with a really nice girl named Jill. And Rick was sitting in his parents' house with the baby on his lap, and he put a bullet into his head. and the mother and Jill ran in. There was blood everywhere. They weren't sure. Anyway, Rick died. Rick had problems. Okay, so I've begun this video by saying I was not ever a fan of NK. I have zero respect for a woman who knowingly sleeps with a man who is married. If he's married and he's obviously going through a divorce, that's a little different. Chris was not. NK admits that she saw the picture of Chris and his daughters, or maybe just his daughters, on the phone. And she said, "You always talk about us. Who's us? Or we? Who's we?" He told her then. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't want to tick anyone off. Hit like, hit subscribe. Her NK's fascination with the gems or the crystals, that's a little creepy to me. It's the same as astrology. Look, if you like astrology, you wake up every day and look at your astrology, what's it called? You look at your horoscope. Good. I'm glad that pleases you. There are 1,000 times where the horoscope will say something to Gemini, like, Libra is in your focus right now. Find a Libra. That's where your love is. And on the same day you go to Libra and it says, stay away from Geminis. They may be trying to murder you. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but if you like your horoscope, good for you. But I think the crystals and the gems were creepy. I heard that the CSI people found, I don't know why I'm putting them over there, because Colorado is actually that way, said they found a crystal under Bella's bed. That's creepy. Very, very, very creepy. So a week or 10 days ago, I asked about this case again because I'd heard that Chris was writing a new letter. Stephanie Marks, long time friend of the channel. She said Shannon Watts reminds her a lot of Kate Gosling. And oh my goodness, I almost got chills when she said that. Kate Gosling's just lucky that John didn't want to murder 8 children and her. Would that have been a nightmare? Sorry, I'm teasing. But they're identical women. They went online seeking adoration and fame. And I mean, in a little bit of way, I'm doing that. But I'm also not. I'm still not being paid. I began this channel because I was tired of seeing all the garbage about Shannon Watts and what a victim she was. Well, she absolutely was a victim. But she built that little sand pile of victimness up all around her. My last thing I want to say, Stacey Marino brought this comment up, and it didn't give me chills, but I thought the same thing. You see all kinds of support for Chris Watts, support for Shannon Watts, but you see zero support for NK. I've already said, and once you start banging a married dude, you lost me a lot right there. But she was still naive. She still believed him. I'm more uncomfortable that she went to his home. She saw the photos and the family. Granted, Shannon apparently had very few family photos. It was all artwork and things like that because she wanted to be posh. Do you know what posh originated from? Port outbound, starboard home. Because the port side was always the side that was at the pier and the starboard. And so the wealthy people got their luggage and stuff off. So that's what posh means. Port, outboard, starboard, home. I just went on a cruise, and to think about it, I was in a suite. I guess my luggage was stored posh. You're still watching right now. I'm completely humbled. I just really wanted to touch base. I'm doing a little bit more work on this, and I just wanted to, like I said, I just wanted to touch base. If you're still watching, I'm completely humbled. I'm shocked. Hit like, hit subscribe. God bless you, and oh my goodness. God bless this America. If you know what I'm talking about, tell me. My name's Meredith. My pronouns are whatever is normal for a woman, and I'm wearing a blue shirt. Bye, everybody.